All right, so we're live. Yeah, hi, Kōtaro. Thank you for joining the conversation and talking story. And I think a lot of people, be interested in hearing your story and all the incredible things you're gonna do when you go back to Okinawa. So I guess where did you want to start? Did you want to say anything in Uchināguchi, or how did you want to start?
Sure. Yeah. Again, hey, David, for inviting me to your podcast. Well, I can give a self-introduction. 父味ソウルぐすいを初めて野菜。Uchināからチャビテル、ユージコータロシ、イエビン。生、ハワイの大学院うて、チャーシウヤフワフジクトゥバ、トゥイムドスガヤンデの、ビンチョウソイビン。ミンシチョティウタビミソリ。So I just said, I'm Kōtaro, Yuji from Uchinā, currently studying at UH Hilo Kahakaulau Keaʻau on the language revitalization, language and culture revitalization in doctorate program. Yep, nice to meet you.
How is your Uchināguchi?
Right now, improved a lot since when I started learning Uchināguchi here in Hawaii. I think it's interesting, but also really common for the students from Okinawa, what they experience in Hawaii. Yeah, sounds a little weird, but it's very common that we don't learn Okinawan language and culture back in Okinawa.
So how are you learning Uchināguchi now? Just starting by yourself, or like how are you learning?
Well, first, I was introduced to Ukwanshin Kabudan. I think many of the listeners already know who they are, but just in case if you don't know, Ukwanshin Kabudan is the NPO organization based in Oahu and perpetuating the Ryukyu Uchina performing arts. And not just performing arts, but how do we reconnect to our ancestors, to our land, through performing arts and culture. So that's whom I learned Uchināguchi from the first. Yeah. At that time, I didn't know Nife Debiru too,
You did it on... Really? That's not common in Okinawa.
I didn't grow up hearing that.
Oh.
I might have, but I didn't care. Nobody taught me. This phrase you just heard is Okinawa, not Japanese. Nobody said that to me. So, yes, I did grow up hearing some Uchināguchi from my mom, the Uchināguchi variation of her ancestral village of Ahagon. So it's kind of different from the, I guess, mainstream Uchināguchi. But anyways, I heard, many phrases, but didn't really care. Maybe if someone asked me, I would have answered, oh yeah, this is not the Japanese that we see here on TV. But we never had that conversation. So I wasn't aware.
So like what Uchināguchi, like in Okinawa, would you typically hear?
Yeah, like when
like if you go into like a store or like a restaurant, are they going to greet you in Uchināguchi?
No.
No?
No.
Oh.
Nobody no business in Okinawa greet you in Uchināguchi. Even hotel, any tourist industry.
Oh, they greet you in Japanese?
All in Japanese. Yeah. So I guess our cultural awareness is still that level, right? As the people in Okinawa. Yeah. So the language I spoke was Okinawan Pidgin Japanese. So it's Japanese, but a lot of Uchināguchi influence in there. And, young generation often conjugate the Uchināguchi verb in a way that Japanese verbs conjugate. Like we say magi-san for something big, magi-san. many Uchināguchi adjectives ends with something something sang. In Japanese, it's oki, right? So young people would say like magisai, like sai or something something hi ending, like oki, chisai, oishi in Japanese. So that kind of funny pidgin language, that was my language.
But did you hear, how about from like your grandparents?
Yeah, they are native speakers of Uchināguchi. But if they spoke only in Uchināguchi, we couldn't, understand each other. So it's common that parent generation come in between and translate, or our grandparents just switch to Japanese for us.
So your parents could speak Uchināguchi?
They can only listen and understand, but they are not used to speaking it. So yeah, my mom can speak more than my dad can. Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, that's a very common situation for Uchinānchu, my generation.
So where's your family? Where's your ancestral history from then, I guess?
Okay, so my dad's side ancestral village is Nishibaru Guya, or Nishihara town. I call it Nishibaru because it's the traditional pronunciation. So Nishibaru and Guya.
Nishibaru is the proper pronunciation.
Yeah.
Nishihara
is the Japanese pronunciation.
Okay.
Yeah. Or some places still maintain the traditional one, like Haibaru. Or even Haibaru was Feibaru. But anyways, my dad's side is Nichibaru Guya, and my mom's side is Kanegusku village, Ahagon, or Ahagon. Well, Kanegusku village is now part of Itoman city, so yeah, some people say it's Itoman.
So what is the second part that you add to you said Nishibara?
And Guya is a smaller village. Nishibaru is big. I think there are over 20 villages, So Guya is only one of the village in Nishibaru.
Okay. Yeah. And then for your mom's one, you said the second part. Agun.
Or in Japanese pronunciation, it's Ahagon. So that's the smallest, village.
Okay.
Ahagon is inside of Kanegusku village, which is now part of Itoman city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. And where is that? Where are those two areas? I guess in Uchina. Like, is it in the middle? Is it the north or like?
Nishibaru is. So it's funny that if you look at the kanji of Nishibaru or Nishihara, it's west field. But Nishihara is on the east coast and only like 20, 30 minutes away from Naha. So then later I learned that the reason why that place is called Nishibaru is because the place is located to the north of Shuri. The north in Uchināguchi is Nishi.
Okay.
So the kanji was supposed to be the north field. But instead, I don't know who did, but they put the kanji Nishi or west in Japanese. So that's where my hometown is, Nishihara. Yeah, 20 minutes away from Shuri.
Okay.
Yeah, on the east coast. Ahagon is in between, or now it is in Itoman City County, but closer to Tomigusku. So a lot of people think, oh, you're from Itoman, you are a fisherman. That's the image of Itoman, really? That's a fisherman village. But Ahagon was not part of Itoman until recent. So my ancestors on my mother's side are farmers. None of them were fishermen. Really close to Tomigusku rather than the central Itoman city.
Okay, yeah. When I go back to Okinawa, I need to figure out like where all the cities are and everything. And how are you related to the people in Hilo then?
Okay. Yeah. So that's my mom's side family. My great-great-grandparents from Ahagon immigrated to Hawaii in 1906. Oh, that's the great-great-grandfather father. Then later in 1912, around there, great-great-grandmother from Ahagong followed him. And they lived in Kukui Haile, right by Waipiʻo Valley.
Okay.
So that's where the first generation lived. And by the time they came, they already had the first son in Ahagong, but he couldn't come with the parents. So he had to stay with other relatives in Uchinā. So that's my great-great-great-grandfather. Yeah, great-grandfather. So he was supposed to be the first son of the Nisei line, the second generation line, but he stayed in Uchinā. And the rest were born, I think 6 of them were born in Hawaii. And one of the second generation married to Kaneshiro. So that's Auntie June, Auntie Eileen, and Julie. So they are my grandfather's first cousin.
Okay.
But that's how the rest of us were born and raised in Uchinā. Then I have more relatives in Hawaii. So because of that, our family kept in touch for a long time. Hawaii relatives would visit Uchinā and vice versa. Then we realized that we needed a next generation who become the bridge between Hawaii and Uchinā, So I was chosen for that. I didn't know what I wanted to do after high school. I was supposed to be studying to get into the University of Ryukyu, but I gave up, I wasn't really focusing, Then my mom found Hilo, when she was Googling. Oh, that school, university is right by where Uncle Kazu lived. That's my mom's oldest brother. Again, he was born in Uchinā, but he was kind of like adopted to one of the second generation auntie uncle. So yeah, he grew up in Hawaii since he was 5 or 6. So that's the closest family member we had in Hilo. So I moved to his house. Then, started commuting to Hilo.
Okay.
So I didn't choose to come to Hawaii or to Hilo. It's a family thing.
Okay.
And, living in Hawaii is a dream for many people. Yeah. I didn't know anything about Hawaiian history, culture. So yeah, I thought, my family is a Hawaiian. Then realized, they are just Uchinānchu,
So at that point, if somebody had asked you, are you Okinawan? Are you Japanese? What are you? And how would you answer that?
At first, I answered I was Japanese because, I didn't know anything. Only thing I knew was that I had Japanese passport. I speak Japanese. Okinawa prefecture is part of Japan country. So yeah, I would answer I'm Japanese. Yeah, and that happened in KTA, the local Hilo supermarket. One uncle, he looked some Asian, so he could be Japanese or Uchinānchu or Chinese, I don't know. But I was at the line waiting for the register. Then the uncle started talking to me, Then, from my English, he could tell I was not from here, then asked me where was I from. So I said, I'm Japanese. Then what part of Japan are you from? He asked me. Then I said, Okinawa. And he corrected me. Oh, you're not Japanese, you're Okinawa. Then I was pissed. Who is this uncle to deny who I am,
Were you upset at that
time? But I couldn't speak English as good as I can now, so I couldn't say anything. I just, felt frustrated. What is that? So
how about the people that you went to high school with? Would you say that a lot of them still think you're Japanese at this age?
Pretty sure many of them do. Yeah, because I had been, advocating for, the, cultural awareness on our identity, our language. But, living in Hawaii and only posting social media posts, a lot of my friends don't get it until like we see each other, then have, talk story for like 2 hours, then they start getting it. So many of them still don't get it,
Uh-huh. So at what point did you figure out that you were Okinawan? That you felt you were Okinawan?
Okay. Well, I came to Hilo in 2013, June. Then I guess I met Ukwanshin Kabudan in 2016, around there, maybe 15, 16.
Were you going to what you call, when Ukwanshin used to go to Gary Oshiro's house?
Yeah. I went to Gary's house.
Okay. So you and I met Ukwanshin probably about a similar time.
Oh, yeah.
I think, yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I had to go because, I came to Hilo for a family reason, I came here to strengthen the family, connection. So Auntie Junie asked me if I wanted to go with her. Then I wasn't supposed to say no, yeah. It's Auntie invited me, so I followed. It's not like I wanted to learn about Okinawa. I just had to follow.
Yeah.
Then, I still remember, I didn't enjoy because I didn't know what it was all about. So I remember I was so sleepy. Then later, Norman Sensei and Eric Shishi said, "Oh, we thought this boy is not coming back." But I did, because Auntie Junie kept inviting me.
Yeah.
So I kept following her. Then eventually I started realizing that, because it was the first time I learned Ryukyu history. We didn't learn it in school in Okinawa. So yeah, by learning the history, anybody can tell, like, oh, we are different. Ryukyu, Uchinānchu, are Japanese, we are different. We don't share the same history. We don't share the same language and culture. Then I finally understood. That's why that uncle at KTA told me I was not Japanese. So since then, yes, it was in the Ukwanshin Kabudan workshop where I realized I was Okinawan rather than Japanese. Yeah.
That's funny.
Around, 2016.
Yeah. So what do people, like you said, you kind of learned some of the history about the overthrow and all that, and you've been in Hawaii for quite a while now. I guess, what similarities do you see between like the overthrow of the Hawaiian kingdom and the overthrow of the Okinawan kingdom?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, similarities we had. We had our own independent country. We had our own language and got taken away by the bigger nation, right? So history is, similar in between Buchu and Hawaii, but after that, how people, I guess, dealt with oppression, how people fought against oppression, much different, right? I think it has to do with the Battle of Okinawa, the biggest trauma we still carry. We were involved in the war because Japan colonized our land and made it Japanese territory. So it's only natural that Japan's enemy would come to our land too. So that's how our people were involved. But it was so devastating. And the survivors still had to survive after everything was destroyed. People had to feed the kids. So yeah, they had to like move forward no matter what. And I think there wasn't enough opportunity to look back and heal from generational trauma. And boom, it's been 80 years already. And still, I think we haven't, I guess, faced all of the scars and pain we still carry. Right now, it's unconscious level. And on the other hand, in Hawaii, everyone talk about generational trauma and they know how to overcome the trauma by reclaiming the land, identity, language, protocols, and everything Hawaiian. So here we are. Yes, we have similar history, but how we face the trauma and how we dealt with it is so different.
Yeah. What do you think about, after the overthrow and like the suppression of like the Okinawan language and culture? What personal stories have you heard? Like, has your grandparents or any other of the elders talked to you, or you heard stories from them about anything like that?
Yeah, we do hear stories from grandparents about the Battle of Okinawa. Yeah, it was terrible. I think every town, city, villages in Okinawa, education department mandates certain time for learning Battle of Okinawa during elementary and junior high school.
Mm-hmm.
From high school, it's prefecture. So yeah, I don't think I had that curriculum during high school time. But anyways, elementary and junior high school, we always have to go to grandparents and ask them to tell us
Oh,
the war stories. And I still remember grandma on my father's side, she was 4 or 5 at the time of the Battle of Okinawa. She told me that she remembered seeing like human flesh hanging on the tree as she was escaping to a safe space.
mhm.
And she remembers stepping over the dead body, that kind of story, Yeah, we all have at one point, have to listen and learn from those stories. But yeah, funny thing is, even though we have that, as we grow up, like I was, many young Okinawans get easily manipulated by Japanese perspective on what's happening here in Okinawa. Yeah, I was pro US military until I met Ukwanshin Kabudan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about that later, but that's kind of tricky. Yeah. I think because, well, let's talk about that later.
But I do have my theory for that. So the reason why I was like that is because, well, I later realized that curriculum on Battle of Okinawa is only focusing on the Battle of Okinawa. It never talks about how Uchinānchu were brainwashed and forced to operate with Japanese army in Uchina, or before that, our nation, the kingdom, was forcibly overthrown by the Meiji Japanese government. It's always, connected. We cannot cut and look at only one small piece of history. We cannot understand the whole, large, bigger picture. So I think that's what's missing. That's why, even the pro-US military people are against wars. They say they are against wars, but they don't know the scary side of having military. That's why. I think everything was so repetitive, Battle of Okinawa, everyone had to learn. And on the newspaper, on TV, once a while we see people protesting against the military construction. It was the normal. So maybe that's why I didn't feel anything about it. Then when you get old enough to start your own social media, a lot of Japanese propaganda flow into my timeline. Then, oh, this is something I never heard in Okinawa. Maybe this is the truth. Very much like the conspiracy theorist. Yeah. So that's how I felt for pro military ideology. So what changed me after that is the Uchina identity. Yeah, it kind of pulled me back to the island. Yeah, hey, you're not Japanese. Think from the Uchinānchu perspective, not Japanese perspective. Don't fall for Japanese narrative. We don't share the same risk and benefit. So it was simple. The education on cultural identity helped me see the militarization issue, right way.
So I guess we can start talking about like, some of the Renaissance topics, because I think that's like super important
Yes.
for Okinawa going forward. What does sovereignty mean for like the Okinawan people?
Yes.
Because I mean that ideal is like pretty central to, I guess, the Hawaiian identity, and their movement, right? What do Okinawan people think about their sovereignty?
I think, well, yeah, it's not the majority of Uchinānchu who can talk about sovereignty. It's only a minority, right? Like the organization called Axios,
Mhm.
Axios Association for, well, I forgot. But anyways, the group
Yeah.
who go to the United Nations to
Mhm.
talk about the militarization issues. So very few people who can talk about
Mhm.
what sovereignty means for us.
Mhm.
But in that sense, yes, sovereignty should mean that we, the Luchu Uchinanchu, can decide what happens to our land,
Mhm.
what language to speak, and the right to be respected,
Mhm.
or, at every election, our voice always get ignored at the Japanese national diet. So, yeah, sovereignty is that our voice are heard and respected. I think most people think about sovereignty that way. But what I learned from Hawaiian is that, yeah, well, some Hawaiian I met in the class said like, oh, you can, go to the road and do the wave sign, protest and all that. But are you speaking Hawaiian? Yes, Hawaii is still under the illegal occupation, but you can Olelo Hawaii now.
Mhm. Yeah.
You don't wait colonizer to give you the right.
Mhm.
There are many things you can do in this situation too.
Mhm.
If you're not doing it, then maybe your protest don't mean much.
Mhm. Mhm.
So after I heard, then okay, I was only like protesting, but I was not really deepening my cultural connection
Mhm.
to my ancestor. Yes, I would say like, oh, Uchināguchi is not Japanese,
Mhm.
but when I was asked, okay, what does Uchināguchi sound like? I couldn't speak.
Uh,
Oh, then I realized, oh, this is not good.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, both are important, right?
Mhm.
Sign waving,
Mhm.
doing the petition, but also we have to, I guess, work on our language,
Mhm.
commit to, I guess, doing the traditional protocols. You know, I think there are so many ways to approach to sovereignty. It's not just, yeah, sign waving, scream, hey, give us our nation back.
Mhm.
No, that's not the only approach.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
like Hawaiians growing kalo
mhm.
is one act of sovereignty,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Sustaining the ohana and community,
Uh-huh.
not relying on the big, capitalism, mass production.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so many of those things like universal. I talked to when we went to Aotearoa. I did a podcast with someone that I met through jujitsu. And we were talking about similar things that we're talking about now. And he was talking about his friend. His friend, is totally self-reliant on the land and everything. He gets almost all his food
Mm.
from the land and the sea. And it's so many similar ideals, I guess, of respecting the land and perpetuating the language and all that stuff. So how do you think, like, what would be the top three things Okinawan people need to do to begin their renaissance?
Okay. Yes. The first thing must be, yeah, healing from generational trauma,
Mhm.
definitely, which involves mainly relearning the history. Because, majority of us, who were born and raised in Uchina, Luchu Uchina, we don't know our history.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe Hawaii Uchinanchu knows more,
Mhm.
or Brazil Uchinanchu. Yeah, we've been exposed to Japanese way for so long. So it has to start from history, just like
Mhm.
how I kind of awakened to Uchinanchu identity
Mhm.
just by learning. Then maybe, simple language comparison to show how different we are. So then learning the history would involve a lot of pain, definitely. Again, I think it has to do with how we moved on from Battle of Okinawa. We had to, I guess, force ourselves to be happy, to, forget the past, to forget the pain. But in actuality, if you don't look at the wound, they are not going to disappear. They stay forever. So, yeah, the mentality of most Uchinānchu is like, we had that kind of tragic history, but we good now. Every year on Ire-no-hi, on June 23rd, we always hold ceremonies for those who died in the war. And yeah, that's the day when we swear that we are not going to repeat the same tragedy. But many people say like, yes, we will not forget the Battle of Okinawa, and we are glad that we are having peace. No, we're not. So it's kind of hard to, I guess, force people back in reality. People still living in the illusion that we are happy. We are happy and Japanese. That's an illusion. Yeah. So
how do you light that spark so people wake up and try to reclaim their identity?
So I think up to my parent generation, anti-war was the super mainstream narrative. But as our people are exposed to Japanese way, Japanese ideology narrative, younger generation are becoming more and more like Japanese. Like how I was thinking about militarism issue, that was very Japanese to think that, U.S. military helping us. So anyways, now parent generation, well, it was the mainstream narrative to oppose the military. But it is not for my generation, And the past governor of Okinawa Prefecture, Onaga Takeshi, he left one symbolic phrase saying, basically, the militarism issue is all about our cultural identity rather than political ideology. Whether you're conservative or liberal, as long as you're Uchinānchu, you must oppose, because of what happened, in 1945. We know what military would mean to us. But younger generation, including me, who never learned Uchināguchi and other culture, we don't know what it means to be Uchinānchu. So that's the important part of cultural identity, the very important aspect when you look at and think about the militarism issue. The generation who don't have that only rely on the Japanese narrative, right? So we have to develop a discourse to kind of help our people focus on our narrative rather than outsiders.
Because I'm just thinking, like, that's why I wanted to talk to Kumulari Kimura. I want to talk to him at some point. I want to do a podcast with him because I want to talk to him about, especially like the impact that the musicians had on the Renaissance. Like Gary Painui and Santa Boy and Eddie Kamai and all those guys. To me, they played like such an important role in like perpetuating the language, perpetuating the culture, perpetuating the pride in the culture. And then you and I talked about that, right? We talked about like who in Okinawa is gonna like do this, right? Because like you need to have somebody to do this.
Yeah, we have only a handful.
Yeah. So who's doing it again?
Okay, so from the Minyo, we have Koja Misako. The Misako Koja is famous for Warabikami.
Okay.
She is super vocal. She always shows support to anti-militarism candidate in elections. So yeah, if you like directly ask other artists, maybe they would be the same, but they just don't come out by themselves. So yeah, Koja Misako is definitely the one. And yeah, other artists. Like, yeah, China also made a song about Kamejiro. Senaga Kamejiro is a former Okinawan Communist Party politician and also a Nahasuri mayor before the 1972. And he fought against U.S. military buying up the land. So, yeah.
These are two like outers, right? I mean, is there like the younger generation that's like,
Yeah, the past, or in the past, other Itasanshin people like Noborikawa Seijin, Hidekaru Rinsho, in their interviews, they said they so worried about the future generation who cannot speak Uchināguchi, right? So they had that kind of message out, but the younger Itasanshin performers, not everyone can speak. Only maybe handful of them can actually speak, outside of the stage,
I think even if they can't speak like, well, just to get like the mess, because even like what you call, right, like Israel Kamakabi Bole, I don't think he was like fluent, right, in Olelo, but he was like so influential, right, and like,
yeah, I think we have to go beyond the music and really renormalize in our daily lives, right? So maybe through music, many artists are promoting the cultural pride in the language. I think like my hip hop music genre, hip hop, the Okinawan rappers kind of grasping, or I feel like they know that putting some cultural aspect in their music or music video would make their music go viral because the majority of the listeners are Japanese.
Because they think it's cool.
Yeah, like exotic, but they know it makes music go viral. So because of that, nowadays, when I see that kind of aspect in some hip hop artists, I'm like, you just want to make it go viral. You don't care.
Yeah, they just have to have the message. I mean, the messaging that they put out also.
But, I cannot blame them because if I didn't leave Uchina and come to Hawaii, I wouldn't have known anything. So that's why it's my responsibility to go back and tell the stories, what I learned from Hawaiians, from Hawaii Uchinānchu community. So yeah, I was going to say that too. How do we start the Renaissance? Unfortunately, we cannot only talk about Luchu Uchina things to start the Renaissance. We have to talk about Hawaii, Maori, Native Americans, indigenous people who are fighting for their language and culture, identity, and eventually sovereignty. Then maybe, well, I already did this with many people when I went back to Uchina. So every time I catch a local taxi, mostly the drivers are like over 60s uncles. They speak language, but they don't know the importance. So, from Nishihara to Kokusai Dori, when I go to drinking with my friends, I only talk about this kind of stuff. So I get in the taxi. I said, Unige sabira. Then he laughs. Oh, what's going on? You're such a young man speaking Uchināguchi. Then I explain. So by the time I get off the taxi, he's like, oh, Chibario, can you study? I said, this kind of interaction with random people, I think it makes difference. Yeah. So what if 100 Uchinānchu people started doing this? It's gonna be quick.
Yeah. Well, what have you? You got to interact with a lot of people at Haleʻōlelo and at Nāwahī school. You probably interacted with like some of the key figures of the Renaissance, especially like the Hawaiian language.
Yes.
Immersion schools and how they started and everything. So what have those people said? About like what did they have to do? How did it come about? What did they have to do to get this going? Because the language was such an important part, right? Also,
I think a lot of what's important are not as mentioned. For example, when, those people talk about, how Hawaiian language revitalization started, how Punana Leo started, they talk about statistics, when, what year started, how many speakers they had, that kind of things. But I think what they don't talk about as much is their ku'e mentality, I think that's what's missing in Uchināguchi revitalization. For example, story from Kumulari Kimura.
Yeah.
I heard it from Kumupila in other PhD course. He seems very, laid back and nice, soft energy, right? But Kumupila told me when he was working with astronomers at Imiloa for, Mauna Kea related things, and Hawaiian creation story, Kumulipo. Those outside scientists said, "Oh, Kumulipo is not real." And Kumulari got back. The more you say that, the more I want to believe in this. So I think that's the kind of mentality we need to know. But I mean, if you have too much of that, then you might go to like more angry protester. But I think Hawaiian people are good at smoothing out with our language and culture with aloha. So I think they're doing the best form. Well, could be the best form of even protest. Is that you don't show your anger. You just show cultural pride. You are so proud that anybody from outside can tell, oh, this is Hawaiian, or this is not America. We must respect. I think that's super powerful. And, working at Nāwahī, when the day comes, children draw the illegal overthrow of Hawaii. And they draw a picture of Joseph Nāwahī. Kaho'olawe too. Everyone draw the High Hawaii, the Hawaiian Kingdom flag, without like protest. They just being Hawaiian, they speaking Hawaiian, they do everything based on Hawaiian philosophy. So I know academia and researchers from Uchinā, came to Punana Leo, Nāwahī, but they don't see, the how, I don't know, in a sense, rebellious to the American way. It doesn't necessarily be called rebellious, right? Because they've been Hawaiian on Hawaii. But in reality, America is a colonizer. This is an illegal occupation. No matter how much you speak Olelo Hawaii, American politics gonna do you, right? But anyways, so things like that.
But I think also they had a little bit of an advantage, right? Because they came, all of those people like were of the age, during the late 60s, early 70s, where there were so many like protests in the United States. So they kind of got to like follow along with that, with those people. And I don't know, it's like starting that wave in Okinawa, it just seems like so difficult because there's I don't know what the motivation would be to.
Yeah, I think we missed that opportunity because we had that huge protest movement, before 1970, maybe starting from around 1968, when
In Okinawa?
In Okinawa, our people's, the limit of anger is gone.
What happened in Okinawa at that time?
That's the Koza riot or Koza uprising.
What happened?
Took in 1970, where I think U.S. military personnel driving a young girl or kid, or I forgot, but hit the Okinawan. And this kind of, accidents and crime were happening countless times. Then with a single accident, Okinawans couldn't take it anymore and started flipping the cars of the military guys. But they didn't attack the black guys. That's the interesting part. They understood that black people have gone through the similar stuff. So only, flip the car and light the fire, but nobody was killed or heavily injured. Maybe injured part, maybe I'm not sure, don't quote on me. Nobody died, even though that was a huge, uprising. So from that, Okinawan people started fighting for equality and, I guess, peaceful lives without military threat. So that eventually lead to the reversion to Japan, going back to Japanese administration. So we were deceived. Many of us believed that by becoming part of Japan again, we thought we could kick out, evict all the military bases. We could enjoy the rapid economic growth that Japan was already enjoying because they didn't have to burden the military. Then we wanted the peace constitution, the Article 9, and other parts of the constitution that would respect and protect our human rights. That was the only reason why we wanted to be part of Japan. None of them came true, and we're just losing the identity. Right? I think, up to my parent generation, they kind of knew it and gave up because they kept protesting and nothing happened. They had to survive, so they kind of had to forget and move on. But our generation, are not that strong. We don't know that. So many of us think that it's a good thing that we are Japanese again. But look at, still have many bases. Why is it good?
It's probably worse now, huh? I mean, because now you got the United States military and you got the Japanese. So,
how do you maintain that, illusion? I think one of the biggest factor is the anti-China narrative.
Yeah,
that scares us. Yes, we want to kick out the bases, but we don't want China to come invade us. That's how many people think.
Do people think China's going to invade? Yeah.
I used to. For that, people have to realize how, American history, right? From the genocide of indigenous Americans and enslavement of Africans. Then civil rights movement where all the people of color and even white people came together and fought for civil rights. America is full of problems, right? Bad history. Yeah, you learn that, and maybe you can be afraid of China if you're still scared, That's what I tell to all my friends. Yeah. They say, oh, Chinese are taking over. No,
So because of that mindset, is that why people want the United States bases to be there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh.
Those who have never done decent research. Because it's a heavy topic for us to think. And, pay is low. So who would want to study on weekends, learn something on weekends? They want to just relax and let the stress out, then back to Monday.
But the problem too is, right, the Japanese military is building up in Okinawa, right? I was surprised because when I went to Okinawa the last time, I went to another jiu-jitsu gym, and one of the guys that was training over there was from Japan. He was in the Japan military, and he was stationed in Okinawa. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
And he was talking about where all the Japan troops are and stuff like that. I was like, really? I didn't even know that.
There are quite many. In Tomigu-ku, the new development town called Toyosaki, they have, elementary school over there. More than half kids are Japanese settlers' kids. They're not Okinawan. So slowly, more and more schools becoming like that, taken over by settlers' kids. It's scary. And those parents often complain, the Okinawan way, trying to make it Tokyo way or something. It's scary.
So how do you think, is it possible to do what Punana Leo did?
I think the obstacles are definitely in legislative level and political level, but I think mainly psychological, yeah. I guess, over 400 years of Satsuma colonization took away our sense of agency. we always have to, I don't know, get permission, or we have to belong to somebody bigger than us. Or, I mean, if we want to, we can, because look at the politics in Hawaii. How much of the politicians are actually Hawaiian, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Okinawa, maybe 95% are still native Okinawan, you know, running the local council to prefecture assembly, you know. It's just the mentality that's too Japanese. So we have the advantage that Hawaii didn't have.
Oh, really?
Ah,
Just because on the local level, you can make those decisions,
I mean,
but the national level wouldn't
it
affect.
does affect, but at least at the local level, indigenous people are the majority, right?
Yeah, yeah. I never thought about that.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, not much time, but we do still have many elders who speak the Ruchu languages. It's not too late. I mean, it's late. Yeah, it's late, but maybe not too late.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's all mentality, I think. And also, how colonization affects education and the success in society. The more you study, the more you assimilate, right? The less you study, the more native you maintain. So there's that. So after the war, people who didn't go to school, they say they went to Yamagakko, the mountain school, just playing in the mountain or outside, not going to school. They kept the language. Then those who went to school and studied hard became more Japanese, and they cannot speak Uchināguchi. And the prefectural government office, of course, the more assimilated people can get in than the Yamagakko people. So yeah, it's the Uchinānchu with the Japanese way running the local government.
Yeah, I think what Nāwahī doing is so impressive. Just with like their philosophy of education, right? About the whole aloha aina philosophy and everything, and they do such a good job.
Yeah, their Hawaiian Renaissance, being influenced by the American Civil Rights Movement. And when it came to Hawaii, I think Hawaiians smoothed it out with the culture and language, made it Hawaiian way. So I guess that's the reason why the Punana Leo exists. It's not only coming from the pure love for language. It's resistance and reclaiming the pride and reclaiming the language. So we can only look at the language revitalization part here. We gotta see the whole picture. That's what scholars from Okinawa who come here don't see. So that's the kind of thing I want to address in my dissertation.
Yeah, even like you went to the Pulama Maoli.
Yes.
Yeah, I just watching that Pulama. Yeah, it's like all the kids just like
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives me chicken skin when all the kids like are singing together. Yeah, it's like so good.
Yeah. Yes, we do have, language, music, dance in a certain area, the domain of performing arts. But they never, come to the, spaces of daily lives, regular things, what they call regular things. So, I mean, in order to have that, I think, people must be aware of what colonization does and did to us, and the socio-linguistic, socio-political aspect of the language. Then people can think like, oh, we have to speak outside of the stage, not only when we sing on the stage, So that kind of awareness is still lacking.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna be the one, Kōtaro. So when you go back, you're gonna start the first Punana Leo in Okinawa.
Yeah, we need to educate adults first. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's more easy to educate kids. Yeah, they are like sponge.
They just think that's normal, right? They just because Olama doesn't think it's unusual, right? To protest what they were doing on Kaho'olawe or anything. It's just like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's amazing, how Navajo parents are so active in many protests. When I went to Ancestral Remain a symposium with Eric Shinshi, I met one, parents of my former Haumana. Yeah. Oh, same grade as Olama. The Mars. Forgot the first name, but they are Maori. Onoaiakea Mars.
Oh no,
He
that's
has
not Olamos.
No?
No, not Olamos.
Oh.
Bob, yeah.
But yeah, the parents are woke. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, we often focus on the children's education, but we must educate adults first, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you just need a small group, right? To get it started. Yeah.
Yes.
So you and the people at the Axials, your friend, what's your friend's name again? The one, he came to Hilo also.
Manato?
Oh, Manato, no, not Manato. So, yeah, you have all your connection that you can get everybody together, when you go back.
Yeah, over the years, I developed quite a networks. Yeah, thanks to Professor Ohara Yumiko, I got connected to those academia who came to see Punana Leon Navahi. I made connection with them, so I can always reach out to them. Yeah, yes, I recognize it's a really huge job, but I'm also optimistic about it because, through, tough story, we can awaken one by one. It takes time. Yeah. And then other things I wanna always talk about when I try to help my friends awaken is hip hop and reggae, those black music.
Oh yeah,
the
resistance.
music,
Yeah, resistance.
That's the part, the Japanese listeners always overlook. I mean, many.
Oh, some hip hop, right? Some hip hop, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't follow the mainstream hip hop nowadays. That's commercial. It's not culture. It's only business. But like, old school roots conscious reggae, they always talk about decolonization and they criticize colonizer, and those lyrics always go over the head in Japan because they don't know that Japanese are colonizer too. So using that kind of thing, I explain, okay, you like Tupac, I'll tell you what Tupac has said. Tupac's mom was Black Panther Party,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. They, tell them about what Black Panther Party did, free breakfast program, free healthcare program. And I mean, it's a scary part, but they arm themselves to protect from police brutality, It's pretty cool,
Yeah.
That kind of mentalities are still present in some hip hop artists. I mean, in this year, maybe only Kendrick Lamar. But 90s, 80s, there were plenty.
Well, even Kendrick Lamar too. Though I was listening to the podcast with who's that guy? Who's that guy that he ran as he ran as the vice president for the Green Party.
Oh,
what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Cornel West.
No, not him. Shit, I think Butch Ware. I think he partnered with the Green Party as the vice presidential candidate in 2024. He was talking. You should go listen to that podcast. He's talking about like some of he teaches the class basically in like hip hop activism.
There are many courses or even TED Talks.
Well, he was saying that Kendrick Lamar, he had the opportunity to do way more, at the Super Bowl and stuff.
I agree.
But he kept it kind of safe, right? Because he didn't want to offend anybody.
I mean, I know. I can tell, from other song of Kendrick, he was saying like he kind of hate he seems he kind of hate being described as the Messiah. Like, don't put everything on me type of work mentality, which is understandable. Don't worship me. I'm a human being, kind of thing. But yes, he could have done more.
Yeah.
Because we worship him. We look up to him.
Yeah.
We need somebody who speaks for many oppressed people.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You need to have the Okinawan Kendrick Lamar, like.
Yeah, so we have a rapper called Gachimaf. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he raps in Uchināguchi. And he talks about colonization.
Is he popular?
No, because he's woke.
Oh, he's not popular.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about, some conscious messages. Yeah, so I support him, a lot.
What is his name again?
Gachimaf.
Gachimaf. Okay.
He's from Keaʻau. And he's, I guess, close to 40 years old. 36, 7, 8, something around there. Yeah, he's much more conscious rapper than Erich is. Erich is all about business, even though she can kind of promote cultural pride. I mean, Erich promotes the positive side of us. Don't talk about the negative side of what we experience. What we have to deal with, under Japanese.
She's very popular, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because to me, good conscious rapper must upset colonizers, must make them angry, must make them uncomfortable. She has zero soul that do that.
Yeah,
just entertaining everybody, spreading love. Spreading love is good, but hip hop must be more fierce.
Yeah,
must be more controversial.
Yeah.
That's why I support Gachimaf 100%.
And then we talked about also like, like how companies like Zigzag and like Hawaiian Force, through their apparel, are spreading the message also.
Yeah. We need more clothing brands, to represent our culture, aspect, cultural pride. Yeah, that's the one thing Hawaiians are super good at, finding the symbolism in nature, in what they do. Yeah, that's something I struggled a lot in, graduate courses. We had to talk about that kind of, symbolism. And what do we have?
Well, what tell me? Like, what do we have? What do we have?
I had no idea what to talk about. Yeah. Once you can find the symbolism in many things, then you can put it in visual, yeah?
Well, just like on your shirt, though.
Well, yeah, the traditional minsa patterns are the same. Yeah, maybe we should start looking into the deeper symbolism, what they actually mean, and wear it knowingly.
Yeah, I would be super interested to know, like, because that's supposed to be like the water symbol, right?
And water and stars. Yeah, so many things. But Zigzag, Hawaiian Force. But rather than that, I want something more like Hawaii's finest.
What is Hawaii's
finest? That's a Hawaii local street brand,
Oh, I don't know that. Yeah.
So recently I bought their shirt. The whole design is the Ku'e petition.
Oh,
the actual, signatures.
What do they have, like T-shirts or aloha shirts or what?
They have all kinds.
Really? Hawaii's finest?
Hawaii's finest.
Okay.
The logo with HI, then HI on the sideways.
That's them?
Yeah, Hawaii's finest.
I didn't even know. Okay.
Yeah, they're super cool.
Okay.
It has so much of Hawaiian and local pride that it's kind of hard for foreigners and outsiders to buy. Yeah, because on the street and in town, you see all the big Polynesian guy wearing that brand shirt. And I cannot imagine like Haole guy wearing that.
What does "ea" mean?
Yeah, the sovereignty.
Yeah, what does it mean though? Like,
yeah,
when you say "ea."
Oh, I don't know. It's like Yeah, that's a good question.
Because I see that all the time, and I hear people say it. But I was like, I asked Olma, what is air? He's like, I don't know.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah, I wonder if it's traditional thing or something people came up with after thinking like, what do we have for? Yeah,
yeah,
it sounds similar. I don't know. I don't want to be disrespectful.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so-
But it's obviously like a exclamation of resistance, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't know like the meaning, Yeah.
Yeah, it also means sovereignty. Then it also means kind of maybe.
Uh-huh. So when are you wrapping up the PhD program?
Yeah, as soon as possible. So I'm hoping to finish my dissertation by the end of this year, but I'm still working on my topic proposal. I always have the idea, but not the details on how do I put everything together academically.
What is your thesis idea?
Well, basically, the biggest idea is how do we close the gap between Olelo Hawaii movement and ours? The gap being said, for example, Nāwahī, they do everything Hawaiian, not only in the language they speak, but the behavior. They do the morning protocol and, many other aspects combined is Hawaiian, immersion education. It's not like, what's happening at regular public school and translate everything into Olelo Hawaii.
Yeah.
And other aspects remain the same. That's not Hawaiian.
Yeah. They're really giving.
Yeah. So that's the kind of difference that we have, because it has to get political, when you reclaim endangered indigenous language. No matter what, no matter, how much you hate to be political, it is a political act, right? But, I guess language revitalization efforts, prefectural government, and the big name academia, they say we revitalize the language for the sake of Japan's linguistic diversity. Why we gotta do some favor for them? We gotta do this for us. It's not about linguistic diversity. It's about reclaiming the cultural pride, right? And sovereignty.
It doesn't seem like what you call the Ainu people, though. I mean, it didn't seem when we visited Hokkaido. I don't know. I didn't get the feeling that the Ainu people were like reclaiming everything. They had the nice museum and everything. But it didn't seem like it was like alive. Still.
Yeah, I think still in the process, right? Yeah, I don't know. The difference between us and Ainu is that Ainu have more mixed roots with Japanese ethnic. Yeah, because understandably, on Hokkaido land, many Japanese settlers invaded. They had to intermarry, but not as much in Okinawa. So most of us are still pure Uchinānchu. And I think, those kind of differences plays role in how we approach to issues and solutions. But
the Japan government recognizes Ainu as an indigenous people. That's why, right? And they don't recognize Okinawans.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt them to recognize Ainu indigenous. They don't have huge military
bases.
Yeah. They will be in huge trouble if they recognize us as indigenous, because of the military presence, which is the violation of UNDRIP, United Nations Declaration of Indigenous Peoples' Rights.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It says that you cannot
have a military base
on someone else's land, indigenous land, without the consent. Without the consent.
Oh, yeah, that's never going to happen then.
Many things written in UNDRIPs is great. I forgot what year, but I read that Japanese government official attended the UN General Assembly and voted in favor for the UNDRIP. So at an international level, they pretend they care about indigenous rights. But going back to Japan, we don't have any indigenous people. I do support you and DRIP, but we don't have indigenous people. Maybe only Ainu. That's what they are doing.
So is anything happening with that? Because I know like Axios was involved, right, in speaking at with the UN and stuff like that.
Yeah, they are delivering our voices at international level and networking with other indigenous groups like Maori, Indigenous American, Afghanistan. Yeah, because we wish UN would help us a lot, but we're not expecting too much from them. Yeah, because they're not gonna do when it matters the most. But that occasion offers us opportunity to network between indigenous people. I think that's the best part of attending United Nations. And I hope we must add more like cultural side to Axios. Axios has been all about political like activism or some academia endeavor. But
are they associated with like a university? Like
no, but one of the founder is a professor at Okinawa Kokusai University. He specializes in statistic and like game theory kind of thing. Yeah, many members are really academic intellectuals. Yeah. When I go back, I would definitely work with Axios. Whenever I have a chance, I would go to UN again. Maybe because many people from different Ryūkyū villages, like some from Miyako, some from Ishigaki, we speak different language. So at the Axios space, everyone speaks Japanese, and I kind of wished more people spoke Uchināguchi. That's how I thought 5 years ago, when I first started working with them. Last year, when we went to Ukwanshin study tour, and we met the Axios group, NT Sankos, they were speaking Uchināguchi. Like one NT who was in 60s, she couldn't speak almost at all. But, Axios has the most Ku'e mentality in Okinawa, more than all Okinawa. All Okinawa who only opposed to Futenma Air Base in Axios opposed to all the bases. You have to be more rebellious than all Okinawa. So with that kind of mentality, at her age, she became almost fluent.
Wow.
So you have to have that kind of mentality to bring the language back to life. You cannot be soft and bring back the language.
Wow.
That's at least how I think. You can't be just a language lump because you don't have the rebel in it.
Yeah. I know there's so many opportunities, I think, for Okinawa, like even just for business purposes. Melissa was telling me that I think Okinawa is like one of the number one places to visit for Europeans.
Oh, yeah, getting more popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like the opportunity for like Okinawan people to like actually do like Okinawan culture and teach people. And, they do that, right? They do it authentically. Yeah, it'll build pride, right? And make money for the local economy,
Yeah. The karate people across the globe, they know, there's something special in Okinawa because, I mean, for, certain lengths of time, people engage in karate and participate in like sports karate tournament and stuff. When they get older and retire from sports, they shift to traditional karate as a culture. Then they start wondering, okay, what's this culture really about? You train so hard, but your master tell you not to use it against anybody, not to fight with anybody. So what's with this culture? Then they visit Okinawa. They know it's not in Japan. They know it's in Okinawa. Right? They want to feel the island place culture that passed down and created karate. So I think karate is, I think, the Okinawan only Okinawan thing
Mhm.
that like anybody in the world knows.
Yeah.
Utasanshin, no,
Yeah.
only in the international Okinawan community. Outside of that, nobody knows Sanshin.
Um,
But karate, everybody knows. So
how is karate? How's karate like maintain its like Okinawan purity in Okinawa?
yeah, people have been discussing,
Uh-huh.
what should we maintain and what kind of, how do we move forward, Yeah, when Japanese karate became more popular
Mhm.
and sports karate came about, you know, people felt, oh, our culture is in danger.
Mhm.
So yeah, there are many articles actually, where all-time karate masters, discussing the future of karate.
Mhm.
And it's quite a philosophy they got.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, from the kingdom time, Matsumura Sokon, this is one legendary figure of karate. He said, if you become strong, you protect your family. Then become more strong, you protect your village. And more strong, you become protector of your nation.
Mhm.
Yeah. So karate is always about, raising a leader instead of becoming strong.
Mhm.
So very much educational, you know. Then the reason why such martial arts
Mhm.
were born in China is because our island nation is so small, surrounded by bigger nation,
Mhm.
China, Japan, Korea. So we cannot fight them, but we cannot also give up on everything,
Mhm.
you know. So that's where performing arts came in, and also karate too. By entertaining foreign officials, showing our high, sophisticated culture, performing arts. That's our way of diplomacy and, I guess, peace, security
Mhm.
policy for us,
Mhm.
showing our cultural pride and showing that we are actually intelligent, we have a good manner, we're not savages, kind of messages coming from performing arts and karate too. We cannot fight those big guys. So the best way to protect is to not fight.
Mhm.
So yeah, performing arts and karate spirit must be applied in politics too for
Mhm.
us.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just curious, like, how much Japanese influence Okinawan karate has like experienced, you know?
Yeah, definitely sports karate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, is there like is there still like super traditional like karate in Okinawa?
I don't know because many dojo have kamidana.
What is
That's Shintoism worship.
all Japanese stuff?
Yeah, Japanese thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, because karate was used before the World War II, or maybe World War One too, as the physical training for soldiers. So karate was used, and that's how karate spread to Japan.
Mhm.
Yeah, so many karate community has that macho, strong mentality, militarism mentality.
Mhm.
Yeah, toxic masculinity
Mhm.
also. So yeah, there's a lot of that. Even famous dojo have, Shintoism
Mhm.
in it. So my dojo don't have kamidana. We bow to senseis who came before us.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I heard that some udui, the traditional dance dojo, has Japan's prime minister photo.
Really?
Eh,
A little strange, yeah.
yeah, confusing.
Uh, wow. Okay, well, Kotao, so where if people want to reach out to you like for like information or anything, how do people reach you?
Yeah, maybe reach me out through my email ygktr dot Hawaii HAWAII at gmail.com or my Facebook like Kōtaro Yuji
Mhm.
or my Instagram. Yeah,
Okay.
people can reach out and we can talk.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of other Okinawan activists out there that want to want to
Yeah.
participate.
We'll have more. We'll have more. Time is coming.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? Or?
Yeah. So right after, when I awakened to identity and became aware of what's really happening regarding militarism issue, I was always angry, just angry. But as I kept learning many things, I don't have to be angry anymore. Then realize, it's important to work on language and culture and traditional practices. I mean, this is more important than going out and, protesting for your rights, protesting at the military base. But at the same time, we need to cultivate the relationship to the ancestor, the aina, through language and culture, music.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's important to be angry, but also we have to be able to enjoy our culture.
Yeah, and I think those themes that you just said is like so consistent with like all the indigenous people. Yeah. Like you said, cultivating the relationship with your ancestors, culture, language, music, aina. Yeah, it seems like that's the common theme, right? With
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, just because, I learned from Hawaiian, movement.
But even, yeah.
I had to come here.
Yeah, even, when we visit Aotearoa, it's all those same themes.
Yeah, I want to go. Must be nice in there.
It was that. Okay.
はい。
Okay.
二平デビル。
Yeah, W.
If you loved today's episode, we'd greatly appreciate your support. Please consider making a small donation at donorbox.org/LuchuNation. Your contribution helps us continue creating great content for you. Ipe Nife Debiru.